Hi there. I think all of us are dealing with the situation right now in different ways and finding different ways to cope and different things to do. For me, I decided that I was ready to start making cards again. When I made this decision was as I was boxing up all of my craft material in order to renovate our bedroom. And so I was like, I want to make cards again. And then I realized, well, not realized, as I was packing it all up, I realized all of my things were all boxed up, and that kind of makes it hard to make cards when everything's boxed up. So my mom mentioned to me that there were card making kits out there that are available through different companies. She knew about one, and so that's what got me started looking into different card making kits. And I ended up finding 3 companies that I wanted to try. So the first one that arrived at my house was from Close to My Heart. So it came in this box, which was, it's closed when it came. Obviously I've made notes on it since then. Nice sturdy box. What was really cool is as I was working on it, everything could fit into the box. So while I didn't have my old stamping area or crafting area, I was able to come to the bar that we have downstairs, and I was able to take a 4-foot section and work on it. But then when I was done, I could easily put it back in the box, put the box away, so it wasn't that all of my craft stuff was out, which is why in my old situation it was in the bedroom that I could close the door and nobody except my husband knew how many things that I had to be able to make cards. So the Close to My Heart kit is a kit that comes every 4 months, so it's 3 times a year. And it came really quickly. I want to say within a week and a half of me ordering it, possibly a week, it was at my door ready to make cards. The great thing about this kit is it came with everything except adhesive. And it did come with foam adhesive, but I'm not someone who likes to pop up everything. I just like to pop up certain elements. So I did have to go to this craft store, and I got this kind of runner tape that you just push down and run, and that gives you the tape. And then about halfway through making cards, I realized that there were some small pieces on there, so I got glue dots. That those are really nice, and so with both of those, it was under $10 additional cost to be able to make the cards. With those though, the things that I bought, I'll be able to use for at least several. I'll probably be able to use them for close to a year if I'm just going to go with the kits that I purchased. The Close to My Heart kit, again, comes every 4 months, so it's 3 times a year. And this particular kit came with 12 designs, with each of the 12 designs having 2 cards, which was nice, so you can make 2 identical cards. If you're at a phase of card making where you like to save 1 card, then that still gives you 1 to send. And again, it came with everything except adhesive. So I'm just going to go through, oh, and actually, it came with a booklet that gave you an overview of what the cards were going to look like. I've got little notes on here because that's who I am, of what color envelopes. Oh, that was another thing I liked. They came with different colored envelopes, so when you're mailing them in the mail, I know it's not a big deal, but I really personally like when you've got a colored envelope instead of a plain white one. It just makes it stand out and a little more exciting for people when they get it in the mail. So each of the cards, well, here's the stamp set that it came with, instructions on how to make a shaker card, and then it gave instructions for each card and how to make them. The instructions were pretty simple with just a few steps. Messed up on that one, that'll come back to that later, which really just made it interesting. I had a picture, and the instructions, especially once we got to the shaker cards, could have been a little more specific because I screwed one up. I also made notes on mine where when I changed the sentiment, I made notes on this, and then I also, so I put, there we go, I put what the sentiment was that I ended up using, and then when I sent it to a friend, I put who I sent it to, because ideally you don't want to send the same homemade card to the same person, because that, I don't want to say it defeats the purpose, but it kind of does. So the stamp set came with everything except craft tape. So that had a little stamp dot, or ink dot. It came with stars for the shaker card. This is after I was done, so there were plenty of stars that came for the shaker card, which is great because I can make more shaker cards, but then I kind of have to buy more shaker pieces. It came with a stamp set, which I really was happy with this one because it gave me a lot of variety, and I was able to switch up some of the sentiments that the cards said that you should use, and it made it more usable of what cards I tend to send more often of. That's great. Okay, so this is one of the ones that I did change the sentiment. I went ahead and popped this up that you can see a little bit of a shadow there. I'll line this up perfectly. I had it for a second. And there you can see where I did use the one foam dot. That just gives the card a little bit pop and a little more personality. The Just a Note card, pretty simple. This, and this were pieces that were attached. The card did come pre-printed on the background for that. This one was supposed to be a thank you card, but I felt like there were a lot of thank you cards. So I just went ahead and changed the sentiment. I did go exactly with what the card was supposed to look like. This one was just a basic, go ahead and keep with what they're doing. Trying to see what I'll attach. So this part, and this part were attached pieces. The yellow background was included. Here's one where I didn't screw up. Somebody who's not named me, which is named possibly Michael Pearson, lost the pieces, or a couple of the pieces, to this is what the card was supposed to look like. Unfortunately, a few pieces were missing. So I was able to save the card, for lack of a better term, that there still was a card. But originally I thought that I was going to have to throw it away. This one I think looks much better than this one, but it's nice to have a card to send than not have a card to send. Here's this one, just simple. Again, this one was one that I changed the sentiment on. Another sentiment change. But that was really nice of being able to fit it to what I needed most. I know that some people, if you work in an office, you might have a lot more birthday cards that you send to your coworkers, so you could very easily switch it to where there are more birthday type cards. This was the card that made me realize that I was going to need to use glue dots moving forward, and this was card number 8. So number 8 out of 12 was when I realized I needed to get glue dots. For these, I did not use glue dots. I used the tape runner, which worked okay, but the tape runner is larger than a lot of these, which makes it a little difficult to get the tape on, and there might have been a few 4-letter words that were said at my household that evening. So after that, I took a pause, got the glue dots, and this is just the standard what they said it should be. Kind of cute. It could be birthday. I kind of like that this one is versatile. It's got the balloons for a birthday, but it can just be hip hip hooray of congratulations or something like that. Then we got to the shaker cards. There were 3 shaker cards that I had really fun with. I've tried to make shaker cards before, but I didn't have this type of kit or this type of item. So what happened with the kit, the way it came, is it had the acetate circle, which is just this, well, kind of see-through, it's reflective, and then you put the pieces in it and things shake, which is fun. The way that this came in the kit though is the outline of these 3D foam spots was the circle that did the shaker card to make sure it all stayed in. And so it was a nice addition in that I got little 3D foam pieces to use for other cards, and ended up having 5 full circles plus a third of another circle of just 3D foam spots that I can use for other cards to make not pop cards. I mean, they won't shake at all, but it just makes it nice to have that for future use. This one is by the, I probably could have used more shaker stuff on this one, which, seeing that I've got this much left, definitely could have. A little too late now. Then I had this card, which I kind of wish the shakers on these were reversed, because this one I made 2 mistakes, which you can just laugh and it makes it more that it's homemade for me. I put way too much shaker stuff in here. Well, and first of all, what I didn't realize is when I popped out the stars, there were a few stars that should have gone on top of here, but I didn't realize that until the shaker box was already sealed and it was too late. So this is almost a two-for card that you get the shaker fun, but then it's almost like a puzzle where you kind of have to move the shaker pieces around to see what the card even says. So that's entertainment twofer on that one. And again, that's where I like really making cards that even when you make a mistake, it's funny and it makes it more unique and more handmade. So yes. So yeah, the puzzle plus shaker card. Bonus to whoever gets that. But I wish I could go back in time and put more shaker in this card because the sentiment's on the front to read, that you can read it no matter what. And then the last card, I really liked this one. I changed the sentiment on this one because it says that, it says I am blind is what it says. I count my stars that we're friends, or my lucky stars, which is great because it has the stars in here. One thing to be careful of when you're putting, I'm glad I thought of this when I was making them, when you put the paper larger stars in, make sure that you put the color side facing forward because they will shake around, but it's thin enough that the paper stars will not flip. And then you can see the tiny little spot, and that's the glue dots that I use to color or connect the pieces there. Okay, so those were the cards that came with the kit, and I had a really good time. I really liked this kit. It was very simple. All that you had to buy was adhesive. Everything else was there. The punches or the die cut pop out pieces were there, pretty much just glued. And then, but you had the enjoyment of making a card and having cards that you could send to friends. I know several friends have said to me that it was nice to get a card in the mail, especially with a lot of us having to limit what our social interaction is, especially outside of the house. Other nice things are what I had remaining of that I can still use after this. You have the whole stamp kit or stamp set. Still have the ink dot that I can use again. I have the remaining 3D foam adhesives that I can use for cards. And I have the stars to make more shaker cards, which I'd have to buy more of the sets of that. But I did look online, and at Close to My Heart, they were only $4.50 for a 6-pack, which looks exactly like this, but still has the circle on it, which to me isn't terribly bad. Oh, and it also came with, all right, here it is. It comes with a see-through block, which see-through is great until you can't find it because you see right through it. So I have this that I can use for the stamp set that I have, or I can use it with other stamp sets that might be similar and can attach to that. There weren't any paper products left over, which is good because I used all that they had. The only thing would be is that you wanted to use the stamp set again and make more cards, you would have to be ready to buy cardstock or cards and envelopes to be able to make more cards. So yes, leftover materials were nice to have. There weren't any leftover paper materials. A couple things that I would probably change with this is not necessarily the kit itself as far as what the cards were. I can organize this one then. And that would be that the kit only comes every 4 months. I would like to see it come more often than every 4 months, especially where the Close to My Heart has a scrapbooking kit that they ship every month. So it would be nice to see it a little more often. It also would be nice to see if they could add to the information about each card what colors they used, which would be in their benefit as well as our benefit. If I was looking at this card and decided I really liked how this orange went with this green, I don't know which orange this is and I don't know what green that is. I could go online to their catalog and try to figure that out. But if you're someone who's been with companies that have color families, it can be tricky, especially if you're using a computer or a tablet or a phone to perfectly match up that color to know what you should order. And that would probably boost a little bit of the sales for Close to My Heart on some of their paper products, which we go through and use, which might be something for them to consider in the future. The only other thing, and this is, you're gonna roll your eyes at me, I've ordered from Close to My Heart before, and it's been a few years, more than a few years. When I used to order stamps, they came in this protective sleeve, which was nice. It's pretty firm. This kit just came in a plastic bag. It still has the protective cushion that you can do when you stamp for a better stamp image, but it'd be nice if they could just make it more, it'd just be nice to have more than just a plastic bag to have it in. With that being said, none of those are game changers. I'm gonna be happy when my next kit comes. I'm not sure if I'll continue it after a year. The way that I signed up for it, if you were gonna order this kit one time, if you wanted to individually order it, the kit itself is $45. I'm rounding up to 5 cents, so I hope that's okay. Plus $8 shipping and handling, and you would pay that every 4 months to that. What I was able to do is I bought a 1-year subscription, and that lowered it to $43.95 a kit, and it also gave me free shipping and handling. So once a year, if I keep using this, I'll get charged about $32, and that's an annual payment that's automatically charged. So when I did the math on the discounted 1-year reunion or 1-year plan, it ended up being for per kit $1.84 per card, and then with the tape and glue dots, which I'll be able to use those, it still put the card under $2.50 per card. That being said, any of us that have gone to a card making class through a demonstrator, one of the first things they say is, look at how much money you'll save by making your own cards. And don't believe that lie, because it can, if you don't stick with just making the cards that are in the kit. There's the scissors you buy, and then there's the new stamp sets, and then there's the paper, and we all know that that $2.50 card turned into a much more expensive card that was made later because it just adds up. So that's my review on this. I was very, very happy with this, especially with it being my first card kit. I was happy with the results. I was happy with the process, and I'm looking forward to hopefully having friends that are happy to get cards that they enjoy and they know that were handmade. Thank you so much, and happy crafting.